local people, local news and events, local sports, local matters. For all things Lloydminster area, this is Live with Kurt Price.
We would like to welcome you inside the new Lloydminster Nissan. Hope you had a great week, a short week here. Well, here at the new Lloydminster Nissan, you get 0% financing OAC on the ever-popular Nissan Rogues and Kicks, and they've added more models to that as well. So almost each model here at the new Lloydminster Nissan is 0%. And we want to remind you that in our service department right now, you can get in on Saturdays for any oil changes that you might need, and also for tire rotations or new tires. So check us out on Saturdays from 9 to 1. Make your appointment today. Kagan Kneen is the executive director of the Lloydminster Men's Shelter, and he joins us today to talk about Running for Shelter, the 2025 edition, which will look different this year, but also have way more participants than just him. It's not just the name, it is Superior Water. Superior Water has 2 locations in Lloydminster, and they're open on Sundays to make filling your big blue jugs a whole lot quicker and easier. And if you would like great tasting water right from your tap, you can call the Superior Water team and ask about their under-the-sink reverse osmosis systems. 780-875-6636. I drink Superior Water because I like the taste, and after all, it is Superior Water. Open on 57th Avenue, Monday to Friday, 8 to 6, Saturdays and Sundays, 10 to 5, and their coin-operated location by 7-Eleven is open till 11 p.m. on Highway 17 South. The theme for this year's parade is celebrating 120 years, and for a lot of those years, you could watch the parade live or on its rebroadcast on television here in Lloydminster. I worked at Broadcast Center for 20 years, and I know that we'd always get phone calls asking, when is that parade being rebroadcast? Well, no more TV, but you can watch the parade broadcast live or basically whenever you choose to do so, because Live with Kurt Price is teaming up with Videre Images and Forges Media, and we will be bringing you the Lloydminster and District Co-op Parade broadcast on Wednesday, July 9th on Facebook and YouTube. So you can catch the parade there, and we want to thank our presenting sponsor, which is the Lloydminster and District Co-op. We're also getting help from the Gold Horse Casino and the City of Lloydminster, and we hope to see you at the parade, or better yet, see you in the parade. And it looks like it's going to be hot. The forecast right now calling for 32 degrees that day. Hard to believe we're on the cusp of another Lloydminster Fair. And of course, the Calgary Stampede also starts and runs at the same time as the Lloydminster Fair. So that means the Rangeland Derby is back. And this year, the demo driver is local driver Colby Stanley, who told us he's been looking forward to getting to Calgary one way or the other for a few years. But he always knew someday he would be there.
I've never been to the Stampede, right? And I've never even seen the track. And me and the wife actually went up for our anniversary to Banff a couple of years ago. And I asked her to drive me out to the track just to see it, right? And when I got there, I went into a completely different space. I don't know what it was or what happened, but we stood there for 10 minutes without even saying a word. And I just looked at her and said, "Get ready, we're coming."
Now, along with the Lloydminster Fair comes the City of Lloydminster's free pancake breakfast. That's 1 week from today. Enjoy pancakes and sausages served up by many members of City Council at City Hall from 7 to 10 a.m. on Thursday, July 10th. And the block party trailer will be there on site for the kids so they can have some fun as well. And we'll be there having some fun. We'll be broadcasting live starting at 8 a.m. A Cupcakes for Caregivers is proudly brought to you by Sobeys Lloydminster and the Lloydminster and District United Way. Have you nominated a caregiver yet? All you have to do is send an email to livewithkurtprice@gmail.com. And I'm so glad that the ladies in ambulatory care were nominated. We have had lots of nominations come in, and we've had that nomination for a while now. So once we get the nominations, we keep them, and we keep entering them over and over and over again. So those are 4 nurses who work in ambulatory care that were nominated, and when we delivered the cupcakes on Monday, we learned a lot about what is ambulatory care, because I honestly thought it was like an ambulance service. it is completely nothing like an ambulatory an ambulance service. It serves outpatients at the Lloydminster Hospital and allows people to come and go from the hospital when they need IVs and things like that. And it saves beds at the Lloydminster Hospital. It is an invaluable service. It also helps out with ER times. So congratulations, ladies, and thank you for the great care that you give outpatients at the Lloydminster Hospital. And again, please keep those nominations coming for nurses, doctors, but also family members, like anybody who takes care of anybody. And I know there's a lot of people taking care of their mom, taking care of their dad, or maybe it's your grandma takes care of your grandpa. Those people do a lot for others, and they need to be recognized as well. Time now for Live in Lloydminster. Everything entertainment and more. It's your insight into upcoming shows, and we're going to start with what's new at the Vic with Sierra Bennett.
Welcome back from Canada Day festivities. I hope that everyone had an amazing time. Hi everyone, I'm Sierra Bennett from the Vic Juba Community Theatre, and this week I just want to share with you all a new social media campaign that will be starting. So beginning this month, we will be starting our Started on the Vic campaign. So this is a social media campaign that features local artists that have taken the Ulmer Chevrolet stage here at the Vic Juba Community Theatre. So if you or anyone you know has performed on our stage before, please reach out to us on our socials or send me an email at marketing@vicjubatheatre.ca. We would love to have you featured. There's so much talent here in our home community and we just want to help it shine. I'm so excited for this campaign. I think it's going to be amazing. I can't wait to get to know all of the amazing artists that we have in our community. And yeah, hope to see you there.
And the summer blockbusters have really kicked off. Now playing at May Cinema 6, Jurassic World Rebirth. In this standalone sequel in the Jurassic World series set 5 years after Dominion, we see a team of operatives forced to infiltrate a dinosaur-inhabited island in an attempt to get biomaterials from these prehistoric creatures which hold the key for revolutionary pharmaceuticals, capable of saving many human lives. It's the 7th film in the Jurassic franchise, and when will people learn that humans and dinosaurs just don't mix? Starring Scarlett Johansson and Mahershala Ali, and daily matinees have also returned to May Cinema 6. And so you can also check out F1 the movie, How to Train Your Dragon, which has kind of been a sleeper hit. People just love that movie. Lilo and Stitch, 28 Years Later, and Megan 2.0. So get showtimes and get your tickets for all current and upcoming movies, including Jurassic World Rebirth at maytheaters.com. Live in Lloydminster is brought to you by the Vic Juba Theatre and May Cinema 6. BioClean Disaster Services is committed, certified, reliable, and they will help you get your life back. At 1-833-246-8326, we have seen some severe weather. We will probably, unfortunately, see more in our city and in our area. So if something happens, any kind of wind damage or anything like that, you want to call a local restoration company, and BioClean Disaster Services is not only the local restoration company, they're also Lloydminster's largest restoration company. And once again, they will help you with your property and your belongings, but more than anything, they'll take care of you, because mentally, believe me, you'll take a little bit of a hit. It's going to be tough, but they are right there to help you through it. 1-833-246-8326. We're going to take a break, and when we come back here at the new Lloydminster Nissan, I've been excited to talk to Kagan Kneen for a while about running for shelter, something he did on his own last year, almost a year ago. It will be a year ago this coming August, but we're going to find out more about this year's Running for Shelter and how you can get involved when we come back.
At CK McKean Roofing, they understand what it took to put that roof over your head for your family. With over 20 years of experience under their belt, they strive to show you that with their workmanship and their integrity. Not all roofing companies are created equal. And that's why CK McKean Roofing encourages you to focus on your most important investments, your home and your family. CK McKean Roofing. Roofers do it on top.
At Diamond 7 Meats, we work with local farm families to provide a high-quality product and a great selection for you. Try our mouth-watering smokies, pulled pork, roast beef, and more, made pure and natural with no additives or fillers. We offer custom processing, and our experienced team works for you to provide a selection of sausage, burgers, and jerkies made to your specifications. Take your grilling to the next level with a Yoder smoker. Complete the grilling experience with Canadian-made, award-winning line of House of Q barbecue sauces. We're locally owned and operated, and we look forward to seeing you today.
At Lloydminster and District Co-op, membership matters more. Because being part of a co-op means you're connected to something bigger than yourself. From long-held legacy by those who built our communities, to people you call family, friends, and neighbors. When you're a Lloyd Co-op member, you're an owner in a local business that prides itself on purpose alongside profit. You earn cash back. You help support causes that matter most, and you're building a better way of life for the next generation. Membership matters more.
Welcome to Wellings of Lloydminster and a community of ageless explorers. At Wellings, age is but a number and adventure is always part of the day. Come experience carefreedom living at Wellings of Lloydminster, where adults 55 plus enjoy a vibrant, stress-free way of life with a whole lot of fun. Stop in and say hello to new General Manager Nicole and 7211 72nd Avenue on the Alberta side, and visit wellingsoflloydminster.com for more. Wellings of Lloydminster, carefreedom living starts here. Well, we want to welcome you back inside the new Lloydminster Nissan, where Kagan Kneen joins us. We're going to be talking to Kagan, the Executive Director of the Men's Shelter, about running for shelter this year. So, Kagan, thanks for being here. Thanks for giving us some of your time.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So, first of all, I want to say great job on the symposium.
Thank you.
The homeless symposium. What did you learn from that symposium? I think everybody took something away.
What I learned is that we are truly, as a community, leading the way as compared to a lot of other cities and centers in Canada. To have speakers that have come from across Canada who've spoken at conferences about homelessness and being unhoused across North America was huge. And to be able to have attendance of almost 200 individuals from our community join was just a huge testament to the dedication of so many different organizations that were putting this together.
There was one speaker who really pointed that out when he said they had the same symposium in Edmonton and they had a quarter of the people show up.
Yeah.
Like, what does that mean when you have a city that big compared to? It means people want to help.
Absolutely.
I think it means people want to help. Was there solutions that were put forward that you have never thought of? Was there things that came up that you were like, oh, we could try that here?
So it was great because the Housing and Homelessness Working Group that the City of Lloydminster actually put together decided on the speakers and the event and all of that kind of stuff. But we were truly trying to think long-term strategy. And I know last summer after the Running for Shelter, we said, we want to expand the shelter, need more beds. After learning like the feedback and hearing feedback from community members, Running for Shelter also got us some exposure. So now we're part of a housing-focused transformation shelter project. So one of 5 shelters across Alberta selected on this pilot project, and realized, yes, we need more shelter spaces, but the issue is the bottleneck for housing. So that was the whole point of this symposium, is to really educate the community that yes, we have a large number of unhoused individuals, but they can go through treatments, but then where do they go after that? So you can go to, say, Thorpe for a treatment and you do phenomenal and you get clean, sober, you're wanting to go to that next step. But if there isn't a house for you to go to and continue that recovery journey, if you end up back on the streets, it's so hard to break out of that cycle. So we learned a lot, and that's why we're doing Running for Shelter again, because we're not looking to expand the shelter. We are looking at actually developing transitional housing. So this fundraiser and all future fundraisers are to help fund more transitional housing spaces.
So if you put moving to a larger location, is that kind of on the back burner now then, Kagan?
It is, because the individuals who even use the shelter facility, we are truly working on finding housing solutions for them, because that's how you truly, like if you think of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, safety and security is the core. So if you don't have security, how do you truly start that recovery journey? So that's where the majority of the individuals who are currently in the shelter are working with our caseworker. Otherwise, they can only stay for the 21 days. They want housing, there just isn't housing solutions available. Working with the home-based team in the Olive Tree and Residents in Recovery and the RCMP and so many different agencies, we have a huge wait list for the home-based program for people that are trying to find housing. So that's where the issue is, and that's where we really want to make that pivot, because the individuals that are in the shelter, if we had these transitional housing spaces, almost all of them would be in that space right now. They would be paying rent and they would be working on life skills and all of those kind of things. The shelter should truly be an emergency shelter for those that are maybe not ready to start that recovery journey. So that's what we're really trying to move that emphasis, because if everyone moves out of the shelter, now it's opening up beds for people that are ready to start having conversations and work with caseworkers so that eventually they'll be ready to move into transitional housing.
I don't want to jinx anything, but this is the time of year where we usually see social media posts, we see the homeless, maybe we are still, but it seems to be a little bit, it's not as loud as it was. Do you think it's not as loud as it was?
It's
a year
definitely
ago?
not. It's definitely not as loud as it was. The prevalence and the visibility is going to continue to grow. It is summer months. So typically during the summer, that's when we see a lot more transient movement for individuals that are coming from rural communities that maybe went back home, stayed with family or friends, couch surfed during the winter months because there wasn't a solution here in Lloyd. So, but then they are still looking for solutions. Maybe that's active employment. Maybe they had gotten evicted from a current rental agreement. They're trying to find solutions, but they need a center. And unfortunately, being that we are the only shelter facility between Edmonton and Saskatoon, we seem to get a lot of that additional traffic because we are still a center that has a lot of those essential services.
Are you as busy in the summer as you are in the winter?
Yes. Yes.
So every bed is full in the summer too?
It's not that every bed is full. We're working on those case plans for those individuals. So we find a lot more success because typically there's usually more openings for rental facilities and stuff like that. So we are actively trying to find solutions. Beds aren't always full during the summer months, but the winter, obviously, there's wait lists and we have turnaround. So
right.
Yeah.
But you're just as busy.
Just as busy, yeah. Just trying to figure out more of those wraparound solutions as compared to just as they was presented. How many beds are in, or heads are in the beds was the thing that one of the speakers talked about, and that's how a lot of shelters are gauged on their success, is how many heads are in beds. Well, we don't want the beds to be full. We truly want to have people in their own living situations. So it's just a matter of finding those solutions.
Do you see new people? Like I know from being at the symposium, it's a lot of the same people that you see over and over again, but there is always new people, especially in the winter. Is it the same thing in the summer?
During the summer, we see some familiar faces that we had seen last summer that have maybe gone back home and decided to come back. But for the most part, it is very familiar faces that we are seeing. The odd time we might see, like talking to the other organizations who help serve the unhoused, we see a couple faces, but not the drastic number that seemed to be apparent last year.
So I remember when I had you and Becky and Tyler on, and we talked about how you can kind of help. But I still see Kagan, somebody sitting outside one of the businesses in Lloydminster. I still see people walking up, giving them $20, giving them $40 and stuff like that. They think they're helping. What could they do better with that $40?
Take them into the restaurant, take them into like Tim Hortons and have a coffee with them. Hear their story. Because at the end of the day, that's what's super important. And for us, because we serve just the 28 that are actually booked in, so Native Friendship Center has been doing great at helping provide some meals to those that aren't staying in a shelter facility that are truly unhoused. Same thing with Residents in Recovery has done a lot of things, and obviously the Olive Tree has their different meals during the week as well. But that's what community members can do. Like, don't just judge someone. Don't be scared to talk to them, because they have a story, and just getting to know who they are, it'll trigger something in your mind that you're like, okay, I never would have thought that that's the trauma that this person would have gone through, or this is the situation they came out of. Look at how much better they're already doing. Yes, they're still unhoused, but they're making leaps and bounds.
So sometimes when we hear about someone who's homeless and someone will say, oh, that person isn't homeless. They know how to collect money. They know how to do this professionally. I have my suspicions on sometimes. Do you think those people do you think there's some of those in Lloydminster?
There's some individuals who choose to rough sleep and don't want to stay in the shelter facilities, and that's why, like, when the point in time count that was done in October of last year, over 91% of the individuals that were surveyed, so there was 246 unhoused individuals, over 91% said that they want housing. So that's what we, as like the Housing and Homelessness Working Group, we're trying to focus on those 91%. I think there was only like 2 or 3% of those that were surveyed said that they didn't want housing. The other ones said that they didn't know. So that's because maybe they aren't aware of what rental facilities are. They weren't aware of what shelters truly offer, and working with case management. So, but we're really trying to focus on the 91% of the individuals who truly want a housing solution.
So, I just have my suspicions that there's a phone underneath there that they're, I get my $20. Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
There's one individual sits outside a restaurant. I'm like, if you're really hungry, somebody walks up and gives you $20, I'd be running in the restaurant.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I don't see that happening. I'm just watching him, and he's not going into the restaurant. It's head back down, signs out again.
Yeah, and that's why I suggest getting to know them, right? Because it's so valuable, and just getting to hear their stories, hear their challenges. Where are they from? If they're not from Lloydminster or the Lloydminster region, what brought them to Lloydminster? I hear a lot of stories for clients that check in saying that they came here for work and then they lost their employment due to the downturn in the economy and that kind of stuff. And now they're just trying to figure out, how do I get home? Everyone's got a different story, but I think it's so valuable to hear their stories.
So last August, it was a hot month.
It sure was.
August was a scorcher last year. You're out there running for shelter.
Yeah.
This year you say, I'm never doing it. Or when did you make up your mind? Maybe it was last year on night number 2.
I don't know. I had full intents actually of doing it, and then life happens. Have twin girls, so the training has not happened. Originally, the plan was to go to the local municipalities that we have clients that we've served and be like, hey, you know what, we're going to run from their municipality to here, drive awareness, have conversation with all of them. But yeah, I have gotten lazy and haven't been able to train nearly as much. So
I don't know if I'd call it lazy.
Yeah.
I'd say there was things that discouraged you last year.
Yes.
And for very good reason.
Yes, there were definitely some challenges for sure, but we also wanted to think long term about running for shelter and the brand and creating more of that community piece. So that's why we wanted to kind of make a pivot, so that it's not also just revolving around one individual. So yeah, I was doing the run and we had a lot of great people come out and community partners that ran with me when we came through Lloyd. But it's not about one person, it's about the cause, and running for shelter truly is about raising money for this community. So yes, our organization is kind of spearheading it, but get the community engaged. We had coldest night of the year this last February, and it was the biggest turnout that we've had since we partnered with Blue Sea organization. So they've been part of it since 2013, and this was the highest participation by over double, and we raised just under $45,000.
Oh wow!
In a 5K walk during the winter months, and that was after all of the backlash from last fall. So lots of community engagement, and it just proves that the community does want a solution. And how do we come up with that solution? So we're going to do the same type of thing. 5K, you can walk or run because we want it to be open to anyone. There is going to be a timer so people can see, oh, well, I finished it in this number of time. Doesn't matter if you're going by the time or not, but we really want to engage everybody to participate in this run.
So when are you doing Running for Shelter this year?
So it's on September 6th, so it's the first Saturday after September long weekend, and it's going to be at Bud Miller. We're starting a late run because not typically 5Ks, 10K runs, all of those kind of things, they start earlier in the morning. Like I said, I really want this to be tailored to everyone. So the run is going to start at 11 a.m. So we'll have registration prior to that. But we are tying into Recovery Week. So we're working in partnership with Residents in Recovery as well as Thorpe Recovery Center to celebrate the successes for those that have gone through treatment programs and have found housing and in sober living solutions. So really wanted to work and show the community the partnership that continues to happen in our community.
Oh, okay. That's perfect. I like that.
Yeah.
Teaming up with, because that's a huge week. People don't realize what a big week that is here in Lloydminster and how it helps out. So will you run just in the park?
Yeah, it's just going to be a 5K loop in the park. So we're going to have different vendors and booths set up. The reason we're doing it at 11 is because they're going to start the barbecues. So for burgers and all of that kind of stuff at 11:30. So you finish your run, you're getting burgers, we're going to have stories, obviously, for recovery. We're going to have entertainment at the amphitheater. So it's just going to be a big event tied into Recovery Week.
So it'll go almost all day?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. We want you to get involved, so we'll take a break, and when we come back, Kagan will tell us how you can sign up, how you can get registered for Running for Shelter.
How can you help support the oil and gas industry and jobs in Western Canada? The answer is closer than you think. Sell your scrap metals to PWM Steel. PWM sells scrap iron to Evraz, located in Regina. Evraz's #1 customer is the energy sector, building pipes and plates for the oil and gas industry. PWM Steel is your locally owned metal recycler and steel service center in the area. Plus, they're a strong supporter of the community. PWM Steel, your top steel supplier for Alberta and Saskatchewan for 40 years.
At Jason Arden Associates Cooperators, we're proud to be a top-rated local insurance company that offers flexible solutions and expert advice for all your insurance and investment needs. We'll work with you to tailor your insurance specific to your needs, and we offer investment advice that always puts you first. At Cooperators, one of our core values is to give back to the communities that we live in. Thanks to the support of our clients in Lloydminster and area, in 2023, Jason Arden Associates has donated $40,000 to local nonprofits, charities, students, athletes, and other special events. How does your insurance company support our community?
I'm Brian Zinchuk of PipelineOnline.ca. I used to be a pipeliner, and I've spent the last 15 years reporting on energy in Saskatchewan. PipelineOnline.ca provides comprehensive coverage of light oil, heavy oil, lithium, helium, power production including coal, wind, solar, geothermal, natural gas, and nuclear. There's a lot happening in Saskatchewan's energy sector, and Pipeline Online is there for all of it. No one else comes even close.
It's more than just taxes at LNA CPA. Assurance, accounting, retirement planning, estate planning, business consulting, financial consulting, farm program support, and bookkeeping. But yes, there is always taxes. The team at LNA CPA is committed to helping you achieve your best results and will be there to assist you every step of the way. LNA CPA, with offices in Provost, Vermilion, and Lloydminster.
Want to welcome you back inside the new Lloydminster Nissan. The executive director of the Men's Shelter in Lloydminster is Kagan Kneen, and he's here today to talk to us about Running for Shelter, which he did alone last year, not this year. This year he's looking for your help. So on September 6th, they're going to be running at Bud Miller Park or walking at Bud Miller Park, 5K, and raising funds for, sounds like to put back into economical housing, making it more reasonable for people to be able to find shelter. So Running for Shelter truly is for shelter this year. Yeah. How do people sign up? How do they get registered to to run or to walk on September 6th?
If you go to lloydminstershelter.com and go under our events, you'll see Coldest Night of the Year as well as Running for Shelter. So if you click onto the Running for Shelter link, it'll take you to our race roster page, and that's where you can register. So you've got two different options for registration. We want it to be economical for everyone, so we have two options. So the first option is you can pay $50. That gets you an automatic race entry. You'll get the Running for Shelter t-shirt, you'll get a medal as soon as you complete the 5K walk or run. So it's the part of the race package. And then the other option is you can do a free registration, but that means you're going to fundraise. So as soon as you raise at least $100, then you get an automatic race entry. So you'll get the t-shirt, plus you'll get the medal as well. So you have options to either do donations to that individual who's doing the fundraising right through that link as well, or you can print off pledge forms as well from that link. And then if it's cash donations, checks, anything like that, then you bring that into the registration and you'll get that during your race package.
So basically you do both if you want.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can pay my $50.
Yeah.
And then I can fundraise as well, or I can say, you know what, I can raise $100 easy, or I already have mom and dad, they'll give me $100 to run, so
Yeah.
might as well just do it that way, kind of thing.
Yeah, and you can fundraise just as an individual. You can create a team as well. So we wanted to do it very similar to how we did Coldest Night of the Year as well. So you can run individually, you can set up a team, like we just sent up the Lloydminster Men's Shelters team. So some of my staff are going to be running and participating in it as well and doing the fundraising aspect.
So how do you hope to translate the dollars, Kagan, that come in through this day into what we had talked about earlier about affordability and finding housing for individuals in our community?
Yeah, so we really want to find a transitional housing solution. So we're working with some of the government partners. Haven't heard back yet on the grant approval, so we're really hoping for this approval. But the money that we raised for Running for Shelter from last year, as well as from Coldest Night of the Year, is already kind of put aside for capital funds. So that's what this is going to be as well, going towards that capital project. So whatever building we can acquire, we are planning on doing 48 transitional housing units. So it's a big project, but there's going to be two different dorms. One's going to be for 24 units that are clean, sober, trying to find employment, can't afford market housing, still have caseworker support, but they're going to be working on those life skills, working on financial management. So that's going to be in one dorm. And then the other dormers, those that are active in addiction or mental health challenges that want to start the recovery journey, they just don't know where to begin or how to get going with it. So working with case management support. We want to have counselors as well as psychologists on site. So truly providing wraparound services in this space. So included in that, they are going to be paying rent. So it isn't that we're giving a handout. They're going to be paying rent to use the facility, getting the caseworker support. They're going to get 3 meals a day. So we're going to have them truly set up for success. So if somebody's staying in one of the dorms that is active in addiction or mental health challenge and they want to go to treatment, well, now we can work with somewhere like Thorpe, do the referral, but then they know as soon as they're finished their treatment, they have another room that they can go to that is now in the clean and sober dorm. So it's truly helping them on that recovery journey.
So if I'm reading this right, Kagan, so you have 24 beds that are pretty much the same as they are now. Like half of the dorms will be, you come in to sleep and then you leave.
No, so it's their own individual rooms. So each person will have their own individual.
So they won't have to leave during the day.
They don't have to leave during the day. There's going to be different programming that's going to be available on site.
But you have to do that programming.
You have to do the programming in order to be part of it. Yeah,
Right.
you got to be working on that recovery journey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now I get it. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought, okay, so half of it's like the regular men's shelter. I'm interested, like the other half, is it like apartments? Like you have your own kitchen, your own...
So for the dorm that's going to be those that are active in addiction or mental health issues, then no, they're not going to have the kitchen because we're going to have a commercial kitchen with a chef that's going to
3
get
meals a
everything
day.
done 3 meals a day. But then the other dorm is going to have a smaller kitchen so that they're going to get training courses from the chef on meal preparation and that kind of stuff. They'll still get 3 meals a day from the chef in the commercial kitchen, but they're going to have a small kitchen so they can start working on those life skills as well.
Right, okay. So this sounds like it's an apartment building.
It's, yeah, similar.
Very similar.
Very similar, yeah.
Not quite as big. Like the rooms will be smaller, obviously.
Yeah, smaller styles, dorm style rooms. When you think of like university or college dorms, you've got your own private space. Might be a shared washroom with one other individual, but then yeah, you're going to have all of the access to programming, different spaces as well available.
What's your timeline on all this, Kagan?
So we're supposed to hear back from the government of Saskatchewan in regards to the grant application sometime this summer. So we are going to be putting the proposal out right away for the city in regards to locations that we've been looking at. And then assuming we get the grant, then we are looking at shovel in the dirt per se as of start of September. So then we would start the renovations on the building, assuming everything gets approved to start moving forward with that.
What keeps you positive that there won't be as much backlash as there was in previous times that tried to do this?
I think the fear of what shelters were and what we've shown that the shelter truly is. So the shelter right now is you're working with caseworkers, you're trying to find solutions, going through treatment recovery, but there's just not that next housing level. So the fact of the matter, this expansion is about housing. This isn't about emergency shelter. Our shelter will probably be empty because the individuals that are currently working with our caseworker right now want housing. There's just nothing that's available. So if we can now take them out of the shelter, put them into transitional housing, now we can get more individuals that hadn't started that recovery journey or haven't started thinking about it. We would now have space for them available in the shelter to start planting those seeds, to start working with them on those next steps.
So having a conversation with Becky Shilley a year and a half ago, and she mentioned what is happening with home base, did that kind of inspire this?
Absolutely. So working on being part of the home base team and knowing that there's a wait list of people that are looking for housing solutions, and there's just not much available in the city of Lloydminster right now, especially when you think about transitional housing. So yes, there's low income housing, but a lot of the individuals, especially when you're on that recovery journey, they need additional supports long term. So maybe it's not just a 1 year transitional housing, maybe it is 2 years of working with the caseworker, seeing counselors going through some of that trauma and just decompressing a bunch of that stuff. So this is super valuable, and that's why we really want to make sure that we're showing that we are working in collaboration with so many other organizations to make this a success. This isn't just our organization that's like, oh, this is the solution. This is truly working in collaboration.
So it will be a men's shelter thing, but or will it? Or will you be working with residence recovery, working with the
with everyone? It's going to be men, women. We're opening up, so it is transitional housing for anyone. 18 plus, unfortunately, we just in regards to looking at different models, it didn't make sense from a risk mitigation and that kind of stuff with youth because there is a dorm that are those that are active in addiction. No prohibited substances will be allowed on site, no different than anywhere else. But at the end of the day, truly working on that recovery journey with them.
It sounds like you'll really have to grow your staff. Is that?
Yes, it is going to be a significant need for a lot more staff.
Trained individuals, like?
Yeah, they'll be trained. The other thing that working with Becky, the goal is to also move the home-based program based out of that building because she has also caseworker supports that have been provided, funded both through the municipality, through the city, as well as other means. So we really want to show the collaboration piece. So yes, we have caseworkers, but we want to have the caseworkers that are working in the home-based program in our building so that they are available to our clients as well.
I got to tell you, Kagan, I didn't realize there was something this big in the works.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was this huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the running for shelter is just kind of the tipping point.
The tipping point, yeah.
But I also didn't realize you'd still save the funds from last year's running for shelter.
Absolutely.
That you're still, able to carry that over. That's a pretty big achievement when you're able to carry all these funds over and say, no, we started with this original goal. We're going to stick with this original goal in line of pushback, in line of this. We set this money aside. Having the ability to do that is pretty impressive.
It is, especially for nonprofits, and that's where I'm very proud of the fact that the board and the organization as a whole, we've been able to put that money aside so that we know that we need to expand. At first, we thought it was a shelter. We need more bed spaces. But learning more and getting more educated and getting the feedback from community, let's get rid of the bottleneck from a housing perspective first, and then maybe the shelter still fills up and we need to expand at some point. Maybe we need to, but at the end of the day, how do we help people truly on their recovery journey is help with the housing solution.
So by September the 6th, by the time you're doing Running for Shelter, will people know the layout of the building, where the building is, all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, that should be actually coming out fairly shortly. So probably within the next week or two, I'll be putting the proposal out through the city. And then obviously, just like we did last year, I welcome anybody from the community. Come talk to me, meet me at the shelter. We'll go for a coffee. I'm open to hearing ideas, collaboration ideas. This is something that we have been working on for quite a while. So yeah, I'm very excited about it.
Thank you for being so open about it too, because if I were you and I knew this proposal was coming, I might keep it under my hat, knowing the pushback that I got last year. You're not afraid of it.
No, I think the community has asked for solutions. So we're actually now taking feedback, not just from the community here, but we're taking feedback from other communities throughout Canada that have done very well from dealing with unhoused challenges. So bringing that to the city of Lloydminster, and hopefully we can be that voice of success also for other cities in Alberta and Saskatchewan.
Thank you, Kagan. Is there anything else that I'm not asking about Running for Shelter? Or
No,
you know what I was going to ask, because there's a lot of stuff going on September the 6th. I'm just thinking, I think that we have been booked for that day.
Oh.
So if I couldn't take part, can I still kind of do Running for Shelter? Like, there's people out there like myself who love to walk, love to get things done. I say, well, I'm walking 5K a day anyway. Maybe I want to throw my hat in the ring for this, but I can't make it out to the park.
Yeah, absolutely. So anybody that either registers and pays the $50 for the entry fee, they automatically get a race package. So we'll already have the shirts made based on whatever size shirt people want, as well as the medal. If they don't pick it up, then they can come to the shelter after the run is done, and you can pick up your race package. Same thing, if you've raised $100, then your name automatically is registered, so you're getting that shirt is going to be produced, as well as the medal. So if you're not able to attend, you can just come to the shelter and pick up your race package, and then at least you're getting the bling for doing the fundraising and helping out the community.
Yeah, something that kind of started back when COVID was like we had to do it on our own. It's still kind of handy every once in a while.
Absolutely.
At least we can take some things from that.
Absolutely, yeah.
Is there anything else I'm forgetting?
No, I don't think so. Thank you for having me on. I'm very excited for Running for Shelter 2.0.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's going to be a returning thing. It's going to be
absolutely every year. We're wanting to do it the first Saturday after the September long weekend every year. So if obviously it's for a capital project right now, but down the road, hopefully it's to find more programs to help these individuals on their recovery journey.
We hope to have Tyler and come on. He's come on in the past to talk about a recovery week.
Yeah.
And we hope to do that again this year.
Yeah.
And I hope you'll come and join us too.
Absolutely.
Because it looks like this is going to be a big part of that. So
yeah.
Thank
Perfect.
you, Kagan.
Thank you.
And we remind you that the Border City Farmers Market is on today. That runs from 12 to 5, so you're looking for home-baked goods or anything like that. That's a great place to check out here today and this afternoon. And then we'll be back with you on Tuesday, and we won't be here. We'll be at the Lloydminster Exhibition as we get ready for a huge week in Lloydminster with the Lloydminster Fair. So we'll be Tuesday at the Lloydminster Exhibition. Wednesday, no broadcast because, of course, we're bringing you the fair. And then on Thursday morning, we'll be broadcasting from that delicious pancake breakfast that we look forward to each year, put on by the city of Lloydminster. So that's our plan for the next week, and we'll mix it in there with some great weather and some swimming and all kinds of fun stuff because, let's face it, July is the best month, and it is finally here. So we'll talk to you again on Tuesday. Until then, I will literally be going swimming.